beloved Virginia would discourse with us. She says that the practice of the presence is a sacred ritual. When you practice the presence, you practice living within the light, the beingness, the energy, the divinity of your God presence. And to practice this experience day after day leads you to your union with God. And part of this practice is to clearly see the reality of your divine self as a tangible manifestation of light around you and within you, glorifying you as a God, self-realized one, magnifying the light of God within you, and accelerating consciousness, vibration, frequency, light. To see clearly is to believe in what you see as a reality fulfilled, and to perpetuate that vision as long as you can sustain it within your third eye, your higher vision center. The sustaining of a pure vision of who you are as a God self-realized one will draw through your attention the light into that vision that will allow you to make it so. Through the activation and energizing of that vision, through your love, your consciousness wed to that light within that vision. To practice the presence is a sacred ritual that we can engage in any time. And it's the most natural thing that we can do, because God created us, and God has continued to extend His, her light and love to us through our presence in all of our incarnations. And when we realize this and feel and see and know, experience our presence, there's a great joy field created, and we are lifted up in that light, in that glory, and that divine estate. The more we practice the presence, the quicker will be our union with our source. And the greater will be the light manifest through our auric field and our life. Because we tap into the cosmic reservoir of God's energy field within our divinity, placed there in the beginning of our creation as a sovereign being. Now, in meditation and in prayer, we do this when we are conscious and when we are engaged and when we are creatively musing on all that is beautiful, divine, holy, sacred, hallowed, and pure. And by our acceptance of the pure stream of God, light, within this vision of our presence, we draw more and more and more of this divine energy into our present awareness, and the presence is united within us, within our lesser self, which is displaced naturally and beautifully by the great God presence. It's not so much that we have to let go of our lesser self in order to embrace our greater self. It's that when we focus on our greater God self, it naturally displaces the lesser self without this human effort involved in the process. It's so natural, so beautiful, so easy that a child can do it. And many children have. And some of the greatest saints have simply loved God so much that they drew their presence into their environment, their aura, and the light of love was there. The light of grace was there. The Holy Spirit engaged them in the great works of the Spirit because they were so attentive to God through love and adoration. When we sing, our voice rises to the divine within us and glorifies God through our voice and through the music that we generate through the sacred sound of the toning of melody and harmony, through what we emanate through the vibration of our vocal cords, hopefully on pitch. Yet even if not on pitch, if our devotion is there, it's still heard in its divine beauty and purity. And the greater the love that we carry in our hearts when we sing, the greater will be the vibration of the music of the spheres, clothing us in that emerald light and in all the virtues that naturally arise within us and profoundly impact our lives. If you desire to be a profound person, someone who's deep and rich in spiritual integrity, fire, and beingness, practice your presence. Practice being in the state of grace within your presence, and just allow that presence to manifest through you and flow its love field through you. Shower its light upon you, within you. Stream its glory through your heart, your mind, your will, your soul. A heart stream is an opportunity to engage lovingly with God. That's what a heart stream is. It's an opportunity to engage lovingly with God within yourself. You stream your love to God, God streams his, her love to and through you. And there's this figure-eight flow of the streaming of love that co-creates a beautiful field of divine glory that glorifies God within you and that glorifies God within God through your devotion. So God is glorified within you, and you are glorified within God, because God raises you up in glory, glory unto glory, through your devotion. When we adore God, when we are in love with God, the natural state of our true beingness is manifest around and within us. The natural state of our true beingness is manifest within and around us. It is so beautiful to see those who are in love with God in a continuous offering of self to the divine world, that when we behold these people, we are so inspired by the light that shines upon their face, within their heart, around and within their aura, that we desire to be like them. And these are the saints, east and west, the ascended masters. They are glorified in God because they have become one with God through their focus on the divine and their practice of the presence, often over many lifetimes. When we practice the presence, we sustain God's grace in the present moment of our lives. And by sustaining this grace, we employ God to walk and talk with us. We invite God to work through us. We invite the Holy Spirit to perfume the atmosphere around and within us with the roseate love light. These aromas of roses and other flowers that naturally just manifest because where love is, there is the glory of nature, of the beautiful fragrances of heaven that are restored unto us through this alchemy of love. The closer we are to God's heart, the more we will feel reverence for all life, because God holds every life form in this reverence, in this field of hallowedness. God continues to hold all life within the universe in a hallowed field of oneness. And if we tap into how God does this through love, we too can hold that same energetic state of oneness within our being 24/7 that will expand God's kingdom where we are and anchor the great light of the presence where we live, move, and have our being. We know all these teachings, and yet somehow we still have little lapses in awareness or focus or attention, and we lose the full possibility of the greatest stream of light to manifest through us, because it's like that interruption in the flow of energy, or let's say electricity, through us that distorts and creates a distortion in the field. So our lack of attentiveness creates a distortion in the love field of unity. And so when we resolve what is causing that distortion, we can plug fully into God and have the beautiful heart streaming of light through us in the circular and figure-8 flow with the divine that is so powerful and so dynamic that people will behold it, they will feel it, they will know it within our lives and worlds, and will naturally be someone who people will seek out for guidance, for help, for nourishment, for spiritual succoring. The vision of our presence is something that we should seek, because when we actually behold God face to face within our presence, we can never again live in the same state of vibration that we were previous to that. Having beheld God's face within our I Am presence, we are clothed in light, and we are sustained in that vision permanently. We can come back to it again and again in our meditation and our time of stillness and silence, and reflect again and again on that beautiful, divine, radiant image. And when we find ourselves within that image, and then we realize that we are that image, and that image is us, and there is no separation, then the full intensity of the light of God's glory then blazes through us. And nothing can get in the way of that unity field of beingness, or distort our path, or compromise our mission. If you desire to live in an uncompromised state of oneness with God, everything will begin to happen magically in your life, because the light sustains the cosmic electromagnetic field of love and beingness right where you are. Truth is accessed through pure vision of what is real within you and within the universe. Truth is accessed through this vision of what is real. And when you see and behold what is real, the truth will be self-evident day after day. Having beheld reality, you cannot then lower yourself to untruth or be untrue to yourself or others. You must speak the truth, because the truth will expose you if you do not speak what is real, beautiful, and divine. This is why conscious language and compassionate communication is so important. Yet let that conscious language now be raised to conscious seeing, and let that compassionate communication be compassionate seeing and beholding as the great beholders of perfection, the Elohim and the great silent watchers engage at that level. They are constantly in communication with what is divine within the universe through their clear seeing, and they sustain the perfection of everything within that vision of unity and oneness. So if they can do it, we can choose to do it. And we must do it in order to give birth within the earth to a new culture of harmony, peace, love, brother-sisterhood, enlightenment, freedom. To sustain our vision of what is real, pure, divine, and holy takes effort, takes conscious will, takes resolve, takes courage. Do you have the courage to see what is divine in everyone and everything around you?
Yes.
Really? I didn't hear more than about one person really say it loudly. Do you have the courage to see what is divine in yourself, within others, and in the universe?
Yes.
From this day forward?
Yes.
Okay. Remember that you said yes. So you must re-engage and have that courage. You must have the courageous heart. It takes a courageous heart to see what is beautiful and divine within every person. It takes courage to do that. It takes will, an intrepid will, a courageous heart to see what is perfect and divine within others when you could just talk about what is not so great within them. And that lowers you. That lowers your energetic field more than it affects the other. Yes, it impacts them too, yet what you do by compromising your vision of perfection of others, including politicians, the president, etc., is that you hurt yourself. You lower your vibration, right? We all know this. And once you are sensitive to the feeling of you lowering your vibration through not having a clear and perfect vision of yourself, others, leaders, etc., you will start to know that, oh my God, I feel the lowering of my own energy field through my lack of pure vision. I will reignite that pure vision. I will re-engage in seeing what is divine and holy and pure. And I know that by doing this, I will raise my vibration, my frequency. I will feel better. I will be healed. I will sustain wholeness within my life. I will avoid all kinds of problems, accidents, and negative opportunities that will try to present themselves to me to lower my vision. Now, when you are courageous enough even to behold your enemies in perfection, then you will have gotten the victory over one aspect of your lesser self, a major aspect of your lesser self, because you will have also forgiven what is within you of what is within the other that you abhor. And by forgiving and releasing and letting go of what is impure within you that you behold within another, this is a major aspect of overcoming and transmutation. And it starts with pure seeing, clear vision for self, then others. So to behold the universe as pure, undefiled, beautiful, first begin with yourself and clothe yourself in light. See your I Am presence beaming through you. Then project that out to behold everyone, including your enemies, or those that you don't really appreciate, in that same light and love. And then expand it out to everyone and everything, everywhere. And see how your life changes and how you will draw unto yourself all the abundance you desire and deserve because you have served deity through this pure vision. It's really a simple science when you boil it down to the art of sustaining the grace through practicing the presence. And part of practicing the presence is this vision of perfection. So you have stated that you will be courageous in seeing the beautiful, divine, holy, and pure within every person and within yourself. And so go forth from this service and this broadcast as intrepid ones to see the new era fulfilled within everything, everyone, yourself, everywhere, all the time. Imagine not a vain thing or a prideful thing. Imagine a divine thing and a humble thing. Every moment of every day. What is benign, beautiful, a boon to yourself and others, graceful, magical, mysterious, miraculous. If you would be a miracle worker with Helen Keller and other miracle workers, Padre Pio, Anthony William, Mona Lewis, Boyd Batten, and others, then expect and accept miracles through the miracle presence, the magic presence of your I Am God presence, and feel it, know it, sustain it, and glorify God within that holy magic. So you become a mage, you become a divine magician through love, a courageous heart of love, where you sustain that pure vision of what you desire, what you deserve, what deity is serving you through. And somehow the universe conspires to bring you what you envision. The greatest alchemists are the greatest visionaries, Virginia says. The greatest alchemists are the greatest visionaries because they have learned the science of pure seeing and imagining not a vain thing or a prideful thing, a divine thing, a beautiful thing. Everything that they can imagine that is beautiful, holy, divine, pure, arises within their world because they sustain that grace of that vision through planning, through careful thought processes, through investigation, through reading, through study, through their own invention of what they are hoping and willing into existence by their courage. It takes courage to be an innovator, a co-creator. It takes courage. Courage is really behind every alchemical manifestation. Because love is within every alchemical manifestation. So our vision is tied to our love, and our love is connected with our vision. And when you behold yourself as divine in a humble way, the light manifests, the heart's dreaming happens without interruption, without disassociation, without discord. And everyone will feel that light. Whether you know it or not, their I am presence will feel it, their soul will know it, even if their outer personality doesn't quite get it yet. So let us glorify God through practicing our presence. Let us magnify the Lord by seeing the divine within ourselves and all life. Let us envision perfection, co-create that perfection with the great visionaries of the Spirit, above and below. And no matter what happens in elections, and what we temporarily may think may be a bummer or a goad, don't worry. God is in charge, right?
Yes.
And God is positive. So the charge that God is in charge of is positivity. And so keep on the positive side and be in God's charge. And don't worry. Be happy in your presence. Thank you.